This program is about unsolved Etiquemysteries. Whenever possible, the actual YouTube footage has participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast, but this is my sugar daddy. Fake fruit used to be solely for the decoration of model homes, a facade to help you imagine the real thing. So why then are people across the nation reporting that their real fruit is made of rubber? Is this a sign of America's agricultural decline or its educational atrophy? The Delaware Valley in Pennsylvania, a hotbed of cryptid activity. But there is one mysterious entity hiding in plain sight with no explanation for its existence, and no possibility of understanding unless you live within driving distance of a Wawa. April 2023, Las Vegas. A family reports that 10-foot aliens have landed in their backyard. The resulting footage has forensic experts scratching their heads and a certain news network cranking their hogs. For every Etiquette mystery, there is an Etiquette explanation. Someone who knows the truth. Perhaps that someone is watching here tonight. Or maybe that someone is Sneeko, in which case the only thing he's watching is his girlfriend getting banged at sex parties.
We're laying on the floor, she's riding me, and then I like have my eyes closed, she's riding. I open my eyes and there's just dicks like trying to point at her head, like trying to get an angle on her, like trying to get her to suck. Like,
this guy might not have a cuck fetish, but he definitely has a humiliation fetish if he's volunteering this information. I can't wait for the future where people like him get turned into protein paste for the rest of the population. But even then, there's gonna be dudes putting their Sneeko Soylent cubes on a chair in the corner while they make love to his girlfriend. And post. Now join me, Robert Stack Salvia, for another episode of Unsolved Etiquette Mysteries. The state of Pennsylvania is no stranger to cryptid activity. The Waterford Sheepman, Raystown Ray, and of course, the Squonk. But there is a far more pervasive cryptid still roaming these lands, whose legend dates back so far that no one's quite sure where it originates. I'm talking, of course, about the Delco accent. This accent is most common in the Delaware Valley, and if you were ever to visit this place, you might find it normal, perhaps even serene. That is, until people begin to open their mouths. Philly accent, one of the world's most studied dialects.
Did you know one of the world's most unique dialects is right here in the Delaware Valley? Yeah, it turns out the Philly accent, not only difficult to imitate, it's one of the most studied. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, allow our assignment editor, Chuck, and former producer, Courtney, to demonstrate.
It's a beautiful snow day.
Tiger Woods hit the ball in the water.
Jeep.
Philadelphia Crowns.
Philadelphia Crowns.
Friday.
Unfortunately, during our research, we could only find people talking about the Philly accent, but it's basically the same thing. One of the world's worst.
It's annoying. I call it the Wawa gas station accent.
God, that anchor guy is cute.
May I know the name of male anchor?
Call it what they will, a complete bastardization of the English language. An example of a shiftless, underdog, unsportsmanlike, had to throw that in, society of balls.
According to a famous University of Pennsylvania linguist, the city is the gold standard when it comes to language patterns because the pronunciation of words varies from generation to generation and, of course, neighborhood to neighborhood.
It's also the gold standard of fat Italian guys putting parking cones in the street to save their spot, and all the parking cones have the N-word written on them. I remember as a kid I would go play at Star Garden on South Street and wonder why they called it a garden, because the only things being planted in the ground were used needles and condoms. I took Taekwondo lessons at the rec center there, and thankfully I was too ugly of a kid to get molested by the sensei, unlike some of my classmates. Oh well, that's just Philly things, like defending yourself from a pack of feral children because you stepped 20 feet in the wrong direction, or having to choke out a meter maid so they don't boot your car for no reason. They say Philly is the city of brotherly love, but maybe we should add sisters in there too, so every college lacrosse team across the city can chill out with the sex crime Johns. That said, if you want to make a quick buck in Philly, just start one of those YouTube channels where you go driving around Kensington filming people in the throes of addiction so you can monetize their suffering. Philly's notable exports include some of the greatest minds in entertainment, such as Will Smith, Bill Cosby, and Benjamin Netanyahu. I hope you come visit this beautiful city one day. Just don't piss off our cops or they'll firebomb your entire block. And boom. Now the reason the Delco accent is being studied, and what makes it such an elusive cryptid, is that no one is quite sure where this accent originated.
People often want to know, is the way we speak because of who founded the area? Is it all features that have been imported from England or properties of Irish English, or because of all the Italian immigration? And while I wouldn't say no, a thing to keep in mind is that the recent past is really important.
He's saying that he doesn't know, because nobody knows. And also, I can't leave a comment on this video because it's YouTube Kids for some reason. Furthermore, we may never find out where the Delco accent came from because it's slowly disappearing. Experts seeing shift in Philadelphia accent thanks to millennials.
And many things are unique to Philadelphia, and that includes the Philly accent. It's unmistakable, but it also may be disappearing. Eyewitness News reporter Greg Argos explains why the Philly accent could be in jeopardy.
Can you hear it? Mid. That's a hoagie. Home.
You know, another good Etiquette mystery is how come all the Wawa hoagies taste like ass now? Maybe it's because they all suddenly turned into gas stations.
I'm proud of it.
I'm acclimated, I'm used to it.
Very nasal. Could be worse.
For better or worse, that accent is changing. You worried?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna raise my kids with a Philly accent.
If I lose it, I'm looking for it. And we can blame none other than those millennials.
Starting with people born in 1983, we're seeing a bigger, dramatic structural shift.
You know what else millennials are ruining? Sending inappropriate DMs to minors. Can't have anything these days. I'm just glad social media wasn't around when the Red Hot Chili Peppers were popular, or else Anthony Kiedis would have had to write a whole lot of Twitter apologies. It's like Benjamin Franklin once said, we went through a water slide of success, and all these little punk kids were at the bottom in the little kiddie pool, not knowing that a 6'8" oh my God, freak of nature is coming down the water slide at 95 miles per hour, butt naked, fully Vaseline from head to tippy toe, ready to knock every single little kid out. That's the difference between me and everyone else. Anyway, go Birds. And post. So enjoy the Delco accent while it's around, because one day it may disappear, and all we'll be left with is an Etiquette mystery that remains unsolved. Update. 3 seasons ago, we covered the banning of Dr. Disrespect from the Twitch streaming platform. We can now confirm that he was banned for inappropriate DMs with a minor, because he admitted to it in a very cocky tweet full of F-words, because that's just how cool he is. But there are still questions, such as, how old was this minor, and did he know? I mean, look, I'm a really big fan of the doc, so I hope she was 17 and he just had no idea. Also, maybe she was a coal miner and not an age minor. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say she was like a week away from turning 18 and he thought she was his age. So that's probably what happened. I don't know. Mystery solved. Imagine, if you will, an innocent trip to the grocery store. It's the summer, so the produce section is bursting with the vibrant colors of freshly picked fruit. But looks can be deceiving, and many Americans are reporting uncanny properties in their seemingly perfect produce.
This is watermelon.
Rubber watermelons, fake fruit, or perhaps a government operation. Synthetic. Yeah, something like that.
Dayarselin fake avocados sin Texas.
What is going on in America? They're trying to murk us all.
Allow them to eat scientifically generated foods, from legalization of everything to killing themselves with food.
Or they realize that Bill Gates is trying to push fake food for slaves into humanity and wants to kill off the part of humanity that can't be assimilated due to being useless or due to politics.
They are selling fake avocados in Texas. Well, this explains all the microplastics in my balls. And you post. As you can see, communist website TikTok.com has become an epicenter for people concerned about the elasticity of their food. After all, what banana has ever done this?
So my mother was showing me that she opened the banana, that she thinks that these are not real bananas. We got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue. It's very tight and doughy.
This looks great because I'm tired of those things breaking off inside me. And post. Just about every fruit you can imagine has been put under newfound scrutiny.
This is what I'm talking about. Check this out. This is supposedly an organic strawberry. This is an apple. Do you see the problem here? There is no way this is normal. There is no way this is natural. And there is no way this is a regular strawberry. A real strawberry should be about this big.
I live on a strawberry farm, and yes, they do grow this big. I'm sorry, but growing up on the farm, we did have strawberries that big, and they were organic.
I grew them that big in Alaska.
All right, well, that one's solved.
They got it from Walmart. It smelled like an orange, and
I don't know, man. They doing so much stuff to this food. What is this?
Never heard of a blood orange? Bro, that's a blood orange.
The blood in the blood orange comes from frightened babies, and it helps you stay young forever. And TikTok. But there is one question we still have to ask. What's wrong with fruit in America? What's wrong with fruit in America?
Something bad is happening to the fruit in America. Hundreds of people on TikTok are reporting that anytime they buy produce from the grocery store, it's super rubbery and almost feels fake.
Tallarse fake avocados in Texas.
Alright, I already showed that video.
As most of the time the labels aren't accurate, and anytime you go to a different country in Europe or South America, their produce tastes much more flavorful.
You know, I've shown almost all these videos. This guy's just doing the same thing I'm doing, but dumber, because he's adding Discord noises and talking like a stroke victim.
People were even speculating that the government is in on this, and others are planning to leave the fake fruit outside to see if it will attract bugs so we know if it's real or not.
Oh, well, that's an abrupt ending. I guess he ran out of nothing to say. This guy sounds like a sleepy Pauly Shore. Why does he talk so weird? I tried talking to my dog like this, and it bit me in the face. Next time I get pulled over for speeding, I'm gonna use this voice on the cop and see how long it takes for him to unload his service weapon into my body. I can't wait for all the YouTubers who talk like this to have children who will grow up to hate bedtime stories. That is, unless Bill Gates makes us all sterile first with his rubber avocados. And post. We may never know why fruit is so tough and rubbery all of a sudden, and from what I can tell, no one has tried Googling it, which is why it will remain an Etiquette mystery. But it's no mystery who's sponsoring today's video. That's Saley.com/bigmoney. All right, I got everything I need for my trip to Japan. Well, except for a regional SIM card so I can use my phone over there. But that's all right. I'll just buy one at the airport. Oi! Huh? Just use Saley, mate. Knobbleberry? What are you doing here? I think the correct question is, what are you doing in general? You going to buy a SIM card after you've landed? When you could just use Saley.com/bigmoney, coupon code BIGMONEY for 15% off your first eSIM purchase? What's an eSIM? I think I'll let my narrator handle that, you stupid donut. You got a narrator? What? Yes, hello, I'm a narrator. An eSIM takes the same role as that Japanese SIM card you were going to be overcharged for at the airport, or worse, at some shady bodega once you've landed on foreign soil. Simply install the Saley app at Saley.com/bigmoney, coupon code BIGMONEY for 15% off your first purchase, and then choose from over 150 countries. Set it up before you leave so that the minute you land, you have an internet connection for directions, VoIP calls, and more. Don't wait in line at the airport. You're already activated, and you can go film shameful TikToks of yourself dancing in front of Buddha statues. I'm using Saley right now. Oh, okay. But why's Knobbleberry here? I thought he was a NordVPN thing. What? Well, that's because Saley is made by the same cybersecurity experts behind NordVPN, so they have full access to Knobbleberry and his investigations. Indeed. And right now, I'm investigating Jimmy Savile. Oh, whoa, that is not cool. Oh, I'm going to find him. I've been all around the world searching for clues. Every time I enter a new country, I make sure to activate Saley.com/bigmoney so that my internet works the second I get off my aeroplane. Yeah, but you gotta understand, it's kind of like a sensitive topic. Yes, well, I most likely killed one of your great-great-great-great-grandpas, so why don't you shove it up your cock, you twat? Is he allowed to talk to me like this? Knobbleberry does whatever he wants, you donkey. And you can do whatever you want with Saley.com/bigmoney. Avoid roaming fees with an internet connection wherever you travel. Plus 24/7 support, and you get a full refund if your device isn't eSIM compatible. Well, you know, there was that one time I went to Barcelona and I bought a SIM card outside a bus stop, but it was just a fake piece of plastic, so an eSIM would have been nice there. Oh, I just got a lead in the Savile case. I must be off. I'll see you in the next NordVPN ad. What, you just gonna run away? And if you think eSIMs are only useful for international travel, you've never been to your parents' house with their dog shite internet. Go to Saley.com/bigmoney, coupon code BIGMONEY, and get yourself a domestic plan. That way you can create your own hotspot with applicable devices, take your work calls, talk to your AI girlfriend, and more with a higher quality internet connection that never gets throttled. Saley also makes a much safer replacement for public and hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah, look, I appreciate all the advice, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing and buy a physical SIM card at the airport when I get there. Toodaloo. You'll be sorry. Where the fuck am I? Where the fuck am I? Oh, I bought a bad SIM card. I should have used Saley. What the? Go to Saley.com/bigmoney, coupon code BIGMONEY for 15% off your first purchase. Make summer travel a breeze with high-quality internet all around the globe. Thank you, Saley, for sponsoring this video. Also, that guy died. Update. Previously on Unsolved Etiquemysteries, we covered the tragic unsolved murder of little John Benet Ramsey. We can now confirm, thanks to this Facebook video, that John Benet Ramsey was not murdered at all, and she is in fact living now as Katy Perry.
For years, there has been this really strange conspiracy theory that claims that Katy Perry is actually the late John Benet Ramsey. And while this theory may sound kind of ridiculous, there are people who claim to have lots of evidence to back it up. And what they said about the fatal night John Benet passed...
This narrator is aggravating. She repeatedly says John Bennett instead of John Benet, pronounced Benet. If you're gonna narrate a story, familiarize yourself with the facts and the information.
Many people think that she might not have passed away at all. Instead, they think it's possible her parents faked the whole thing. Although it seems a little crazy on the surface, it isn't the wildest conclusion to come to. John Bennett's parents were clearly trying to make her famous.
It's driving me fucking nuts she's pronouncing the T. This post couldn't even pronounce her name correctly. It was pronounced John Benet.
And then she actually compared herself to John Benet, saying that she wasn't like her because she wasn't confident as a young girl like John Benet was. Although John Benet is a household name to people who are interested in true crime.
The speaker keeps mispronouncing her name in other words. What the fuck? God, the pronunciation errors in this video are horrid.
During the 2017 VMAs, Billy Eichner asked Katy to blink twice if she was actually John Benet, to which she responded extremely confused that the whole thing was not real and even laughed it off.
Heather Harvey, somehow my comment disappeared. Okay, I know for a fact that this is John Benet. Katy Perry used to be a Christian singer. Her real name is Katie Hudson. I used to listen to her all the time. When I found out she left God, I quit listening to her. There was a body, idiots. Jesus, really?
You see it? All right, well, thank you to this Facebook account, Celebrity Tea Time, for cracking the case. I'm now going to present them with an Unsolved Etiquemysteries award. Here you go, and post. Oh, whoops, that was Goatsy. I just Goatsied everyone in there. All right, well, let's move on to the next Etiquemystery. This one's solved. June 12th, 1994. Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman are found murdered at her Los Angeles home. What followed was one of the most talked about trials in recorded history, with Nicole's ex-husband O.J. Simpson accused of the gruesome crime. He was later found not guilty, a controversial judgment that still has some wondering if the real killer avoided any sort of due process. What makes this an unsolved Etiquemystery is if O.J. didn't do it, who did? O.J. Simpson conspiracy theory.
The only theory that I think has any sort of like merit to it is that his son did it. Did you ever see that one?
I like the guy on the right because his name is Erik with a K.
Prior to the killings, Jason was diagnosed with intermittent rage disorder. He had stopped taking his medication 2 months before the murders. He wrote a note in which he talked about killing anyone who hurt a loved one of his.
Now, see, why didn't I just load up this TikTok video instead of watching these guys watch it? I don't know.
It's a really weird mix of feelings because I feel as a dad, I'm like, wow, OJ did what he had to do. That's, I mean, I would do that.
Yo, Dr. Disrespect looks old as hell without the sunglasses and mustache. Oh wait, that's Chris D'Elia, the only guy to carve a career out of never shaving his neck, even though that's far from my biggest problem with him when it comes to grooming. All jokes aside, I was really bummed when he got canceled because I hear he was in talks to play Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, and all that method acting prep of being a creep to high school girls went out the window. Maybe one day they'll make a biopic of his life so he gets to tell his story, and then they can sell that as a prequel to The Lovely Bones. And post! If you have any information as to the whereabouts of this man, don't worry, the FBI is already looking into it. Also, make sure your daughters are wearing old age makeup if they go to any open mics in the Los Angeles area. Also, I guess maybe OJ's son did it. I don't know, we got kind of off track there. We'll never know because OJ died. Las Vegas, the city of sin. Tourists flock from all around the world to this neon oasis to partake in its hedonism and opulence. But could it be that one of these tourists, on April 30th, 2023, was not of this world? The Las Vegas alien crash is insane. Tons of information coming out. Pat McAfee reacts.
Are you thinking about maybe having to fight for fucking the entire earth with one of these things that's dropping down from another place? Who won, a guy in Las Vegas, Mexico, who's seen one on May 1st, 2023, documented, had a news segment about it, and a Ring camera that kind of matches what he said, and some sort of shape, and a story with a cop and a cop's partner seeing the same exact thing with it all on video or whatever.
Now that's a Delco accent, and post.
He said this thing was 8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
stared at them. They're going to be some big sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And what we need to remember forever, okay? We need to remember this forever. Yeah. We will always be better than all of these things at football.
Hell yeah.
8 to 10 foot tall beings would be a shocking claim, if not for video evidence. Yes, right there. Nope, don't go backwards. It's right. Okay, right there. Oh my God, stop playing it backwards. Do you see it on the fence? Yeah, it's right there. Could that have been the 8 to 10 foot tall alien being? For that, we'll have to turn to the forensic experts of News Nation. Las Vegas giant creature. Possible alien video is original. Evidence expert.
We can take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case, we can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video, is there in the physical reality in which the Kenmore family is also there.
Could we be looking at the most important discovery of the modern age?
You can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side of the screen.
The family responsible for this footage may have saved the human race by exposing the truth. Hang on, I'm being told there's an update. Update. More disturbing incidents at Las Vegas UFO house. Oh, good. Maybe we can get to the bottom of this.
You mentioned paranormal activity. What exactly did you see?
Well, I was in another room. My brother called me, and there was a upside down cross, and there was a Jesus statue in it. They ripped Jesus out of it, they threw him like across the room, and it was floating upside down.
Oh, okay.
A crucifix floating in the air, upside down. The Jesus on the crucifix had been ripped off, and it was floating. Yeah. And you can say definitively, without lies, that that is what you saw.
Yes.
What does this have to do with aliens?
The pages of the Bible were moving on their own, and an actual crucifix hanging upside down?
Yeah.
Ah, so the Bible's also moving around. Okay, what? Las Vegas family that reported aliens stands by original story. Okay, I guess we got another update.
I want to go to our Nancy Liu. She's our correspondent. She's live out in front of the home where that 911 call originated, the home where the report was that there were big green men.
How many reporters did News Nation send to this house?
So Nancy, you had a chance to actually talk to the family members today. They're so skittish. They don't want to go on camera, but you talked to them. What did they say?
Yeah, they refused an interview request.
Refused an interview? Well, then why do they keep coming back to the house? Update. Family that reported aliens in backyard goes silent.
But Mark, you also spent some time staked out. Like, you staked out to see if you could get a read on this family. The family has ghosted everybody. They're not responding to interviewers that they made appointments with. They're not responding to telephone calls. I don't even know if they're in the house anymore. But what was your read when you were parked out front for hours and hours?
Yeah, so I'll admit I drive a black SUV.
Okay, there you go. We can explain the black SUVs away now.
Okay, come on, leave them alone. Update. I wouldn't call them a liar. Neighbor who lives near reported alien sighting.
Joining me now is Nancy Liu. She's our News Nation correspondent on the scene. And Nancy, you've had a chance to actually speak with the folks who own the house and actually the neighbors. What did you find out?
Stop updating this one.
We got to talk with the parents here at the house. I ventured over there. I actually talked to the mom for several minutes at the front door. She has now put the kibosh on any interviews.
You know what? I'm just going to leave my comment before we get any more update. Family that reported aliens in backyard asks for privacy.
The internet can be a pretty nasty place. I know. And the internet has been pretty nasty to this little guy, this teenager. And so the teenager has now taken to TikTok to tell people to just kind of back off. He's having a tough time with all the criticism, and he's asking, for a little bit of privacy.
They're asking for privacy from you. Fuck your privacy. What happened? Bullshit. It was LaToya Jackson. What is the teenager's TikTok account name? Update. Lawyer, family who called 911 over alien sighting plagued by trespassers.
Since the story went viral, Haydari says looky-loos are going on private property, investigating for themselves.
They don't have any aliens in the storage or anywhere, so don't try to climb up the
walls or send the drones.
I'm pretty sure 90% of those trespassers are just News Nation reporters trying to squeeze more interviews out of this poor fucking family. That guy who mailed Bjork an acid bomb was less obsessed than the bullshit I'm seeing on this channel. You would think after the third or fourth video titled "This Family Wants to Be Left Alone," you might actually take the hint instead of camping outside their house like a bunch of Antifa protesters. And for all that hard journalistic work, what do you have other than a couple million blue-balled subscribers who are ready to track the family down and start doing their own investigative research? I mean, I barely give a shit and I'm ready to hit them up because you guys fucking suck at getting answers about anything. You should all be reporting on missing cats and potholes. Stuff that doesn't require putting any of your reporters in the presence of another human being. In conclusion, this whole channel gives YouTubers a bad name and we're mostly pedophiles. And you post. And so it goes. Another batch of Etiquette mysteries for you to ponder at home. But for every Etiquette mystery, there is an Etiquette answer. And if you have any Etiquette information about what you've seen in today's episode, leave a comment below with your favorite Benjamin Franklin quote. Wait, what's this? Ah, fuck! Update. Rolling Stone reports that Dr. Disrespect absolutely knew her age. Ugh. All right, well, time for him to start a podcast, I guess. This is Robert Stack Salvia. Over and out.
Hey guys, this is Uncle Dave. You've been asking for it, so over at the Neon Grizzly shop, the Rainbow Gay Frog shirts and hoodies are available again. We'll be doing a pre-order for these over the next couple of weeks, so if you've been waiting for them to come back, now's the time to claim yours. Also, we've brought back this old school internet comment etiquette design and added this sexy pigeon ringer tee. If you're just asking questions, this is the shirt for you. Follow us over at Neon Grizzly Shop on Twitter and Instagram for a chance to win a free shirt or poster. We've been giving away a poster code every day. That's at Neon Grizzly Shop. And just remember, Pride Month may be over, but the frogs will always be gay.
Big money.